Be Well is brought to you by the Area Office on Aging. Living age 60 and above or caring for an aging loved one, we can help you do it better and longer.
Hi there. Welcome to the first episode of Be Well. I'm your host, Toi Creel. I am so excited to talk all things wellness because I feel like our area needs a platform like this. We spend so much of our day running around from work to school and picking up loved ones. It can be hard to stop and take the time to say, what do I need? I want you to right now. Have you checked in with yourself? Rested? What does wellness look like to you at this moment? This show is designed to explore how people in our community are using so many definitions to define wellness, but also including others on their journey. And who better to introduce than our first guest, Sonia McNair, an all-around wellness entrepreneur.
And this is when I was appointed by the mayor back in, I want to say it was whenever he started his first mayoral campaign, he appointed me. So that's an old shot of that.
And we are so excited to be here with Miss Sonia McNair of Urban Wholistics and Sonia Organics.
I am always working, to be honest. So to sit down here with you is amazing.
Thank you for welcoming us into your space, into this beautiful garden. We're in Chapin Park right now. Can you tell us a little bit about urban farming, right? For those who may not know what it is.
Urban farming is your farm spaces located within your city limits. So it's an open invitation for anybody that like to take on their communities and make it a better space. You don't have to grow a lot of food like this. You can be a flower farmer. You can be a goat farmer, a duck farmer, or any type of farmer you want to be, as long as you cooperate with the city regulations. It's a rewarding career.
Even we're just like sitting here, we got the goats walking around, they're looking, he's chewing off a tree right now. How did you decide about the importance of local food?
It was a calling, Toy. I really didn't decide. At 50 years old, I didn't decide to work in 90-degree weather 10 to 12 hours a day. My goal was to sit back on the beach somewhere with 8 grandchildren, but I was called to do this work. The work was, to me, to fix a problem or problems that existed within the inner city community. So we talk about your socioeconomic problems with your lack of food, lack of land ownership, and also the lack of farmers. The thing is to teach the youth to take care of the spaces that have been left and abandoned.
And even shifting into you, tell us the name of the program and what's actually happening.
Here at Urban Wholistics, we are hosting farm to market programming, which means we are teaching the kids how to make money, how to sustain themselves through plants and produce. We are a full service farmers market that is ran by the youth. We harvest on site, and we also harvest and have the farmers market fully stocked for neighbors to shop.
You got your buzz originally making products with Sonia Organics.
Yes.
How did you switch into Urban Wholistics? And tell us a little bit more about that journey.
Well, it all went together. To have the best products, you need to grow your own stuff. So I wanted to source local herbs. We didn't have many, so I decided to start growing what I needed to create the products for Sonia Organics. Sonia Organics is the person that provides programming, the space, which is your land here that's registered with USDA, is registered with Sonia Organics. The products is So Organics. It all feeds together.
And we talk a lot about local food, right? Why is local food so important?
Local food is going to be the footprint of our community. We are getting food that is not compromised with nutrients by maybe ripening in the back of your truck, because Toy, you know you can't harvest tomatoes at full ripeness while they're red and ship them from California and expect them to be fresh and firm for you here in Ohio. We do have a partnership with local restaurants.
Of course, the name of the show is Be Well, right? What does it mean to be well to you?
So being well to me means a whole entire lifestyle, an ecosystem of wellness.
Sonia is doing some amazing work. Wow. We're sending a nod to the entire Urban Wholistics team. Now, we'll stay outdoors, figuratively of course, because in our next segment, we're headed to the park. Now, everyone knows Toledo has amazing metro parks, but we sit down with Matt Killam to talk everything metro parks and what they have planned next.
Outreach transition for me was first loving the park system and having an understanding of what the intrinsic value of open green space is for everybody. I can work 7 days a week on that and twice on Sunday. So part of outreach is not just assuming that we know what the public needs all the time. We should be asking. That should inform how we design our parks. That should be inform how we schedule next year's programs. People that live all the way out in Jerusalem Township don't necessarily want the same things that everybody out in Swanton want. There's a lot of different communities within the community that I owe, by definition, my service to.
We're inside of Market Hall.
Sure.
We've got people in the back. There's a lot of activity. Feels like, and we've seen that the outreach is working. I'm actually joined here by Mr. Matt Killam with the Metroparks. Can you tell us your official title?
Yes, I'm the Chief of Outreach for Metroparks Toledo.
What's your favorite part about your job?
I am almost always within a couple hundred yards of a playground. So even when I'm having a bad day, which is infrequent, you do get to hear people enjoying what it is you do for a living.
And when it comes to just hearing the sound of kids laughing, and of course the show is called Be Well. So how do you incorporate environmental wellness?
First of all, it starts with access. We have a park within 5 miles of every Lucas County resident. You have to be able to get to safely or feel welcome to a park system. Wellness is certainly the body, right? We have trails where people run. We have a climbing wall outside of where we're sitting right now. That's intuitive to most, but between your ears is the muscle that we are trying to lean into the most. And it's a byproduct of COVID. We looked at our wellness and mental health obligation to the community more seriously, saying people need to be able to feel safe together and also be apart safely together. And the Metroparks, in all public green space, frankly, are places to do that. But we're an environmental agency. One of our dark secrets is we'll build a hotel in the clouds like the Treehouse Village. We're doorstep of the Mini Mommy, which is a splash pad. But what I want to do is use those as a vector to teach people about conservation. Our water was toxic not too long ago. We are trying to induce people to learn and care more about the ecology through play and experiences.
I think that's smart, right? You're attaching fun to these important information. And so how do you keep wellness at the forefront when you're talking about a treehouse or a splash pad, or even here coming to the ribbon and seeing kids putting on their skates?
Well, some of it comes with just attendance, right? By getting out from your house, getting away from your screen. We do have to rewire what I think is potentially been lost, which is the ability to play. Getting outside is good for you. That is irrefutable. So we are the stewards of 13,000 acres, and how we get people to re-envision themselves in it is our challenge, and we're up for it.
One thing I love about the Metroparks is there's a very smart decision making when it comes to what's next, and there's always innovation. Talk to us about that master plan and what's up next.
Yeah, so the master plan ultimately connects all the parks together through a system of trails. So we're sitting right now at the Riverwalk. Right now we have a full-scale restaurant facility which is run by a local operator. We don't rent skates, we don't run restaurants or bars, we don't run pickleball facilities. We let people in our community run those, and the money that we get, proceeds from that, we put back into our conservation message.
And we've used a lot of this time to talk about community and wellness. What role does Metroparks play in the overall health meter of community?
I think it plays a role as convener. What I mean by that is we've got space. Who needs space to gather? What other community partners need assistance, capacity? We need to be sometimes not the people doing the thing, but the person who connects the dots to the people who want to do the thing and the people who need the thing. But in terms of overall wellness for the community, we should just play a role. We should be at the table and say, how can we serve? We are just a cog in what can be a real community. Our long-term plan is to be a beacon for wellness in the region and change the paradigm of how people see Lucas County and Toledo. And that isn't just the Metroparks, right? This is a system of partnerships. It's the city, it's the county, it's the Boys and Girls Club, it's the East Toledo Family Center. It can't be done by one agency or one term or a politician, right? It has to be a consortium of people buying into the fact that this can be better if we think differently and we lock arms and say we deserve this.
Can I just say that we simply love the work that Metroparks is doing? Now we'll pause here for a quick commercial break. But first, let's pick your brain with some trivia.
Wellness Trivia is brought to you by Lucas County, your comprehensive behavioral health organization. What time or days can you call the National 988 Suicide and Prevention Lifeline? A, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. B, Saturday, 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. Or C, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll be right back with our answer after the break. Before the break, we asked you, what time or days can you call the National 988 Suicide and Prevention Lifeline? If you answered C, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are correct. This Wellness Trivia is brought to you by Lucas County, your comprehensive behavioral health organization.
Welcome back to Be Well. I'm your host, Toi Creel. In Northwest Ohio, there's groundbreaking research being conducted on ovarian cancer. I sat down with Dr. John Nemunaitis to see how he's impacting health at the Toledo Clinic and changing women's lives. Now, how you doing, Dr. John?
I'm doing good.
See, I got so familiar with you, I wanted to call you John, but it's Dr. John.
Either way is good.
Can you explain to us who you are and what it is that you do?
Sure. I've got a couple of roles. First, there's a cancer program that we're setting up. I'm in charge of the program, and that's to coordinate a clinical trial research program focused on bringing into Northwest Ohio precision technologies. These are new treatments that have been developed over the last 10 to 15 years, and we feel that it's going to be a great opportunity for patients in Northwest Ohio.
So you're a patient, you figure out, I have this really rare form of cancer, chemotherapy wasn't quite responsive, and then I decide I'm going to go into testing. Is that done here or somewhere else?
Yeah, so the testing for the precision technology therapies is a type of genetic testing. You could look at the DNA, you can look at the protein, and these tests can be started and finished within a week's time. And we can now strategically plan out what genes are causing the cancer and how to stop those genes from working. And so precision therapy is all about identifying that particular defect in a patient's cancer and then developing a technology or bringing on board, some of these have already been approved by the FDA now, bringing them on board to treat that patient. Many scientists doing this work, but I've had a chance to work with them as well as a lot with the FDA and a lot with the biopharmaceutical industry. And we've learned in ovarian cancer that young women you would think would respond well to many of our treatments, and they do to some degree. But we've had a lot of trouble curing patients with our standard approaches. But recently, related to a company that I actually set up and many great immunologists, we've learned how to impact the immune system and what sort of doesn't seem to be going right. It's related to a combination of immune activities that we can build into a cancer cell from that patient, irradiate it so it doesn't grow anymore, and then that cancer cell, the product is called Vigil and the company is called Gridalis. That cancer cell then it won't grow, it'll actually stimulate the immune system to attack it. And when it attacks that modified cancer cell, the genetically modified one, it'll now spread and educate the immune system to attack the rest of the cancer in the body. We saw the most responses in ovarian cancer, so we pursued working with the FDA on this product much longer in ovarian cancers.
What is the success rate or life rate, I'm not even sure what to call it, of someone who is diagnosed with ovarian cancer before versus after your therapy?
It can come back in about 75% of patients within 2 years. And that's the problem. Once it does come back, it's now got a much better hold and it's more resistant to our standard treatments and it's more difficult to treat. And so most patients only live a couple of years after it comes back. And so our focus and where our one of the technologies that I'm very familiar with is Vigil technology. There are others, but the focus is to try to prevent that cancer from coming back.
What you're telling me is that this is really groundbreaking therapy.
Yeah, I believe it is. Every patient, you yourself, what you want is that therapy that works, that therapy that cures you. Now, we can't always get something that cures you, but as long as we can get it to where we don't have the cancer, seen, it can't be felt. It's like hypertension, it's like high blood pressure. Many people are on high blood pressure medications for many years. It used to kill people with heart attacks years ago before we had the blood pressure medication made. But now you can live a normal life and not have any problems. That's where we're taking cancer. I believe precision technology, the study of genetics, will allow us to get there over the next 10 years.
A specialized clinic in Northwest Ohio? See, people try and sleep on Toledo, yet we are a small and mighty city. That was so informative. Thank you, Dr. Nemunaitis. We'll continue our wellness check-in in just a minute, so stay right here. You're watching Be Well on BCAN.
This Mindful Minute is brought to you by Lucas County, your comprehensive behavioral health organization.
Engaging in meditation supports the separation of ourselves from our thoughts and our feelings. These are often internalized and can cause anxiety and depressive symptoms because we are often living in the past or in the future. Sitting in stillness for even as little as 5 minutes every day can help us learn to live in the present moment, which activates our parasympathetic nervous system that cultivates the sense of inner calm. Do you often find yourself saying, "I can't meditate, I can't stop thinking," rather than trying to clear your mind? Because your brain is designed to always be thinking, scanning for safety. Instead, find a comfortable seat or even lie down and just allow your thoughts and feelings to arise. Acknowledge them and let them flow by you as if they are clouds overhead, not resisting them, but rather detaching from them, allowing yourself to embrace the present moment.
This Mindful Minute is brought to you by Lucas County, your comprehensive behavioral health organization.
Welcome back to Be Well. I'm your host, Toi Creel. Now we're sitting down with someone special who's encouraging us to be more mindful. Isabella Weik from the Toledo Mindfulness Institute is teaching us a thing or two about the definition of checking in with ourselves.
Postures that are very specific to helping you clear out trauma, anxiety, maybe also helping you fall asleep at night.
2 minutes, I will keep time.
Meet Isabella Weik, CEO of the Toledo Mindfulness Institute.
When the thoughts come, see them, acknowledge them, let them go, come back to your breath.
Toledo Mindfulness Institute is a family-run business. My parents started about 10 years ago. And basically, it's a way for people to connect with mindfulness, the secular, everyday mindfulness practice. So there's an educational piece. We are an institute. So the first thing we do is we help people understand what is mindfulness. And we have systems for that. So we have courses, we have workshops, we have community events.
Explain to us, what are we seeing now?
Yeah, so kind of a continuation of the legacy. My dad is a jazz musician. So I grew up listening to the great jazz legends of Toledo, and I'm a jazz vocalist myself. And so when I discovered these crystal singing bowls, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like a combination of our music and this more healing modality.
But there's so many different types of ways to heal, through sound, but also through your mind. Isabella led us through our own mindfulness exercise.
The first thing I say is that we like to get into what's called a noble posture. So I use that word very specifically because for some people, they're like, yeah, Isabella, like I'm gonna sit right up front. For others, they're like, you know, my noble posture today is back in the chair. Okay. So sit in a way that you feel the word nobility in your body. Next thing I want us to do is look at the feet. Just kind of make sure they're not splayed out, right? You get them nice underneath the knees.
Don't zoom in on my feet.
And then we're going to do place the hands down on the thighs. Okay. And so this is why mindfulness is a little bit different than traditional meditation practice, is that in mindfulness, because we're working on being present for the moment, we keep the eyes open. Yes, so that's the secret sauce. That's the thing that's different, is we actually keep the eyes open and we find a spot in front of us. And then here's the practice. Okay, so as we breathe in, gently in your head, sound the number 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 4. And we keep this cycle going until we get to 10. And then what happens when we get to 10?
I don't know.
We go back to 1, baby. Okay. And that's the practice.
And this practice can be done pretty much everywhere with anyone, even the most unlikely of settings.
Ever since I came on as CEO, one thing that I've been really passionate about is we do a lot of business to business work. So we're mainly working with employees. I just got done leading a training for the Toledo Fire Department. So we've historically done a lot of business to business work, but now I want to expand it out to be more community focused too. So that's been something really powerful. My parents are like, okay, Isabella, you're ready for this. So now we're doing community events. So actually the space that we're in right now is one of our community partners.
Let's break it down, because some people may not know. What actually is mindfulness? Can you explain that definition for us?
Yeah, so mindfulness is the art of being present for the moment exactly as it is. And here's the thing, is that it's a little bit more intense than just concentration practice, because sometimes the two get deflated into one. But mindfulness is not only you're concentrating on something here, but you're also at the same time being mindful of what's happening here in the body. Comes shallow. So I'm going to show you a couple exercises to be mindful with the body and allow more space through the movement. So the first thing I'll show us is a modified downward facing dog. So what I'm going to have us do is you're going to find the back of a chair, and we're going to walk the feet out, gentle bend in the knees. Allow the hips to come back and allow the back to be flat.
The present piece, the not trying to, oh, I wish I could have done this better, oh, I wish I could have done this better, but being present in that moment, that really hits a nerve for me, and I'm guessing probably our viewers too. Why is that so important, and what are maybe some of the signs that are like, not quite being as present?
The thing is that when we get into that mode of doing and achieving, the Institute works with a lot of this type, people who are doing extraordinary things. But what happens is that we as people, we get into that mode and we can get stuck in it. Because it's kind of addictive, you know? When you're getting stuff done, it's like, oh, okay, like, and you feel that energy of it. But the thing is that this is not sustainable. And we need to learn how to come back here into the body. And so that's why mindfulness practice is so applicable to anything. It's simply learning and training the muscle to be able to move from these two places. And by training in being present for the moment, you're actually able to do all your other things so much better. We're doing good things, but it's just that balance of coming back to yourself.
Thank you so much, Isabella. That was an afternoon well spent. Being well isn't just a buzzword. It's a heart posture, a mindset, taking time to appreciate the environment around us and the fact we have beauty in Toledo and Lucas County and our surrounding areas, but also within. Wellness looks different for everyone, as you can see, but exploring the many different walks has been a great gift. Remember, wellness is a choice. Choose well. Until next time, friend, for BCAN, I'm Toi Creel, and we'll see you then.
Be Well is brought to you by the following supporters: Lucas County, your complete behavioral health organization; The L, a curated co-working space designed to empower and inspire; and the Area Office on Aging. Living age 60 and above or caring for an aging loved one, we can help you do it better and longer.